Good day to all. In the fifth module of electric drive course, we have mainly three topics. First one, the voltage source inverter fed induction motor drives. Second, current source inverter fed induction motor drives. Then the concept of space vector. The third topic, the concept of space vector, we will be discussing in the next class. It's better to revise these topics before we moving to our next slides. These topics we have already studied in our power electronics course in the last semester. The figure shows the voltage source inverter fed induction motor drive. So here we have a supply DC voltage VD and we have 6 switches. The switches can be a power transistor or power MOSFET or an IGBT. These inverter configurations feeding the induction motor. The voltage source inverter here can be operated as a step-down inverter or a PWM inverter. In the step-down inverter, we can vary the output frequency by varying the time period t, and the output voltage can be varied by the varying the DC link voltage. That can be done by using a chopper. If supply voltage DC, if supply voltage DC, we can vary the duty ratio of the chopper, so we can vary the output voltage. Then we have a supply. If supply is AC, then we can use a control rectifier. By adjusting the firing angle alpha, we can vary the DC output voltage. Then normally a large electrolytic capacitor is connected to DC link to make the inverter operation independent of rectifier or chopper and to filter out harmonics in the DC link voltage. This circuit diagram shown the configurations for step-down inverter feeding the induction motor. The first one is a chopper based one. If supply is DC, that can be given to a chopper. By controlling the duty ratio of the chopper, we control the output voltage here. This voltage, output voltage of chopper is given to LC filter, that we have a VD, that is given to our step-down inverter, and that stepped wave inverter is feeding the induction motor. So if you want to vary the input to the induction motor, that is the magnitude of to the induction motor, if you want to vary, you just vary the duty ratio of the chopper, so that we can vary the VD. Similarly, if we have a AC supply here, we can get the output voltage of VD by controlling the firing angle of the control rectifier. The control rectifier output is given to LC filter, then we get a VD here, that is given to our step-down inverter. The output of this inverter is given to the induction motor, that is the input to the induction motor, the magnitude of the input to the induction motor. If you want to be varied, we just vary the firing angle of the control rectifier. So we know we have a 180-degree conduction mode and 120-degree conduction mode. So this figure shown here for 180-degree conduction mode. The first one is a phase voltage, VAN. This is a waveform, and we have a equation. The RMS value of the phase voltage equation is √2 by 3 into the supply voltage VD. So this is a line voltage waveform, VAB, and we have a RMS value of line voltage waveform is root of 2 by 3 into the supply voltage VD. The drawback of the circuit is the presence of lower order harmonics in the output voltage. The equation of phase voltage is shown here, that is the equation VAN shown here. Then the RMS value of the fundamental component of the phase voltage is √2 by pi into VD. Because of the lower order harmonics, so we have made three problems. One is the motor losses are increased at all speeds, causing derating of motors. Motor develops pulsating torque due to harmonic components, which causes jerky motion of the motor and overheating of machines. The figure shows the PWM inverter for induction motor drives. If supply voltage DC, that is given to the PWM inverter via a filter and which is feeding the induction motor. Similarly, if supply voltage is AC, we are converting that AC to DC using a diode bridge rectifier and which is converting to a DC value using a filter LC, and that is given to PWM inverter, and the PWM inverter is feeding the induction motor. If you want to vary the voltage and the frequency to the induction motor, that stator to the induction motor, we just vary the modulation index of the PWM inverter. That's applicable to both these cases. Both these cases, this is applicable. So here we can see in the previous case, that is the step-down inverter, we are using control rectifier instead of diode bridge rectifier. So here we can control the both voltage and frequency by varying the modulation index because of the PWM inverter. The step-down inverter, that is not possible. That is why we are using the diode bridge rectifier here. The figure shows the line voltage waveform of the PWM inverter. Here we can see the width of the waveforms are varied. The RMS value of fundamental component of the phase voltage is going to be m into Vd by 2 root 2, where m is the modulation index value. Next, let us see the braking operation of VSI-fed induction motor drives. The power input to the motor is 3 into V into Is cos phi, where V is the fundamental component of motor phase voltage, Is is the fundamental component of motor phase current, and the phi is the angle between the fundamental component of motor phase voltage and the fundamental component of motor phase current. If phi is less than 90 degree, the Pin is positive and power flow from inverter to the motor. So it's a motoring operation. If phi is greater than 90 degree, power flow reverses, the machine works as a generator, and the power is feeding into the inverter, which in turn feeds power to DC link by reversing DC link current ID. There are two types of braking: dynamic braking and regenerative braking. The figure shows the dynamic braking of PWM inverter for induction motor drive. Basically, this figure is saying except the braking resistor R and switch S. Whenever normal operation is taking place, switch S is open, that is in open position, and this switch S is connected to braking resistor R. When the operational motor is shifted from motoring to braking, switch SW, this switch SW is open, and the generated power is feeding to this DC link, and this capacitor charges and its voltage rises. When the capacitor voltage rises is set value greater than set value, switch this is closed and the power is dissipated in resistor R. And that is generated power, and part of the power stored in this capacitor flows into resistor R and is dissipated here, and capacitor voltage reduces. So when the capacitor voltage falls to a nominal value, switch S is opened. In the dynamic braking, the power is dissipated across the resistor, whereas in regenerative braking, the power generated will be fed back to the supply. So here, when operation shifted from motoring to braking, the current ID reverses and keeping VD at the same polarity. Thus, a converter capable of dealing a DC voltage of one polarity and DC current of either direction is required. Normally, we can use following three converters for these purposes: a dual converter, two current chopper, and synchronous link converter as SLC. Generally, we are using synchronous link converter. The figure shows regenerative braking of PWM inverter feeding induction motor using synchronous link converter. In this figure, we can see the PWM inverter 2 is feeding induction motor, and we have DC link voltage VD, and between this DC link voltage and supply voltage Vs, we have synchronous link converter. In this synchronous link converter, we have PWM inverter 1 and inductance Ls. So here the power is dropped from source to the motor during the motoring operation. Whenever the regeneration occurs, the power generated in the induction motor is feeding back to the source via this PWM inverter 1, that is through synchronous link converter. So both ways the current can flow through the PWM inverter 1. For closed loop operation, we are using this controller part that will be discussed later. The PWM inverter 1 is operated to produce voltage V1 here of required magnitude and phase with low harmonic content, so that the source current Is is nearly in phase with voltage Vs for motoring and 180° out of phase for braking, thus giving the unity power factor. For each value of source current Is, the V1 of given phase and magnitude is required, which is realized using sinusoidal pulse width modulation. Since the V1 is produced by SPWM technique, it does not contain low frequency harmonics, and high frequency harmonics are eliminated using the filter Ls. Therefore, a unity power factor is obtained. The phasor diagram of synchronous link converter SLC is similar to the synchronous machine. Hence, it is known as synchronous link converter or SLC. Now let us see the closed loop control of the DC link voltage VD. In a steady state condition, the power supplied by synchronously converter to the DC link equals power taken by the PWM inverter 2. So at this condition, no energy will be supplied or taken from the capacitor, and its voltage VD remains constant. And the closed loop control is provided to maintain VD at a constant VD star, that is reference value, when there is a change in load conditions. So when the load on induction motor is increased, the power taken by the PWM inverter 2 will be greater than power supplied by the SLC to the DC link. So capacitor voltage reduces below the reference value VD star. So then the capacitor will act to increase the source current Is, and therefore power supplied to the DC link. Hence, the DC link voltage will be brought back to the reference value. Here, the SLC cannot be used with 6-step inverter since it requires a constant DC link voltage. Let us see the four-quarter operation of VSI FET drives. A reduction of inverter frequency to make synchronous speed less than the motor speed. A transfer the operation from quadrant 1 to quadrant 2, that is from forward motoring to forward braking. The inverter frequency and voltage are progressively reduced as speed falls to break the machine up to zero speed. The phase sequence of the inverter output voltage is reversed by interchanging the firing pulses between switches of any two legs of the inverter. This transfers the operation to the third quadrant. The inverter frequency and the voltage are increased to get the required speed in the reverse direction. Now let us move into next topic, closed loop speed control of VSA-fed induction motor drives having the capability of regenerative braking and for quadrant operation. The figure shows the block diagram of closed loop control of VSA-fed induction motor drives. So we have a DC supply here. The DC supply is given to PW inverter via a LC filter. The output of PW inverter is given to induction motor. This PW inverter input is the control inputs are the M and F. M is a modulation index, F is a frequency. This induction motor, the speed is sensed over here using a speed sensor, that's omega M, that is given to here a comparator. We have a reference speed and the actual speed omega M. Then output is going to error signal that is given to a speed controller. Basically the speed controller is a PA controller. The output of this PA controller is given to slip regulator which produces a speed, that's omega SL star, that is added with the actual speed and which determines the synchronous speed of the machine, that is the motor, that is given to inverter. Actually this inverter, the frequency should be same as the frequency produced by the inverter should be same as the required motor frequency. So this omega ms is going to be our synchronous speed of the machine. Then we have a flux control block here which produces a V star, the reference voltage, and that is compared with the actual stator voltage of the motor, and the output with the error is given to voltage controller that will be producing the modulation index M, and that is given to PW inverter. That is the PW inverter is having, now we have having the magnitude of the voltage to be produced and the frequency, and accordingly it will produces uh, the voltage, required voltage and frequency to the induction motor. It consists of inner slip speed loop and outer speed loop. The speed controller, that's a PA controller, is used to get good steady state accuracy and to attenuate noise. The slip regulator set the slip speed command omega SL star, whose maximum value is limited to limit the inverter current to a permissible value. The synchronous speed obtained by adding the speed omega m and slip speed omega SL star determines the inverter frequency. So it ensures motor operation between synchronous speed and the motor at maximum torque for all frequencies. The flux control will produces the V star. This V star is generated from the frequency, the F. It's generated from a function generator. It's ensure nearly constant flux for below speed and constant voltage above the base speed. And this speed controller, basically this PA controller, is used to get a steady state accuracy and attenuate noise. Then we have a slip regulator. This slip regulator sets a slip speed command omega SL star, which gives maximum value is limited to limit the inverter current. Whenever the actual motor speed is less than the reference speed of the motor, a positive error signal is produced. So a slip speed command omega SL star set at its maximum value. So drive accelerate at its maximum permissible inverter current, producing the maximum available torque until the speed error is reduced to a smaller value. So drive finally set at the slip speed for which the motor torque balances the load torque. Whenever the actual motor speed omega m is greater than the reference speed, a negative speed error is produced. The slip speed command omega star set its maximum negative value. So drive decelerate at its maximum permissible inverter current, producing the maximum available braking torque until the speed error is reduced to a smaller value. Now operation shift to motoring and the drive settles at the slip speed for which the motor torque balances the load torque. The drive has fast response because the speed error is corrected at the maximum available torque. Direct control of slip assure stable operation under all operating conditions. To operate the drive the beyond the base speed, let us see what happens. When slip speed limit of the slip regulator must be linearly increased with frequency until the breakdown value is reached. For frequency higher than the frequency for which breakdown torque is reached, the slip speed limit is kept fixed near the breakdown value. Current source inverter for induction motor drives. Before we go into current source inverter drive, let us see variable frequency control from a current source. The motor control is done by a variable frequency current source, like VFCS. So motor is fed from a current source inverter. So equivalent circuit, the voltage source is replaced by a current source IS. From the equivalent circuit, you can see the rotor current has a relationship of stator current IS and torque has the stator current IS here, and we have the IM, the magnetizing current, which produces a flux as a the relationship with stator current IS, and also we have the rotor frequency SF. So you can see this is a speed torque characteristics. So this curve shows different values of stator current. So here for IS1, the IS2, the IS3. So this shows the natural carry. The dotted line shows the natural carry, which corresponds to motor operation at a rate of flux. So this natural characteristics is the locus of preferred operating point. You see the magnetizing current IM is producing the rate of flux. To maintain that IM, we need the closed operation here. Shows stator current and rotor frequency for rate of flux. So drive is operated in such a way that the above relationship is maintained between stator current IS and rotor frequency SF. So when the frequency is changed to control the speed. So here motor operated constant torque below the base speed. A constant power for above the base speed. The variable frequency current supply is obtained by current source inverter. The figure shows a current source inverter that feeding the induction motor, and also you can see the waveform of the phase current. In this working of current source inverter, we have already studied in the power electron course in the last semester. Now let us see the DC link current control. So here if supply is AC, by controlling the firing angle, we can control the DC link current here, ID. So we have a large inductance LD here that is connected to CSI, and that CSI is feeding the induction motor. Then if supply is DC that is connected to a chopper, the chopper output is given to CSI via a large inductance LD, So through this LED we have a DC link current, and this AC is feeding the induction motor. So by controlling the DC link current, we can control the torque of the machine. This slide shows the advantage of the CSI fed induction motor drives. This slide shows the disadvantages of the CSI fed induction motor drives. Now let us see the closed loop operation of CSI fed induction motor drive. We had discussed the closed loop speed control of VSI fed induction motor drive in the previous slides. Their working is similar to that. Here the only difference is we have this part. So here you can see here current is taking the feedback ID, that is given to a comparator. The ID star and ID is compared, and the error is given to current controller, and the current controller decides the firing angle, and according to the firing angle, this is 5.8, and we get a different values of voltage, our value of voltage. When that voltage is passing through larger value of inductor, we get a current, is converted into current. That current is given to the inverter, so it will act as a current source inverter. Now let us see the regenerative braking and multi-quadrant operation of CSFI drives. When inverter frequency is reduced to make the synchronous speed less than the motor speed, machine works as a generator. The power flows from motor to the DC link. The fully controlled rectifier made to work as an inverter to get regenerative braking operation. The change of phase sequence of CSI will provide the motoring and braking operation in reverse direction. The Fundamentals of Electric Drives by Gopal K. Dubey is a reference textbook. These topics. Please refer these textbooks. Thank you.